Hey guys, we are Jess and Jeff from TWOMOOSE Design, and today we are going to show you 3 ways you can improve your shop on Etsy.
So tip number 1, the thing we kind of see the most, the one that stands out the most, is not using all Etsy's features or even using all the photos. They offer up to 10 photo slots, and just putting one photo on there isn't really that efficient. And a lot of times you sell items based on who you are in your story. We sell a lot of things just because we're a couple that does this full time and people just like our story and how we implement pets and everything like that. So you have to fill out all the sections so your page just isn't blank. Because if someone goes to your page and there's just nothing there and filled out, it's just kind of boring and they might move on.
The easiest way to go about filling everything out is to go and check out shops that you like and see what they've put into different sections. They always have a banner at the top, they fill out the About Me and the bio, and there's an announcement so you can see what's going on up to date with the shop. You want to make sure to fill all of this out so that customers know that you're actively working on the page and that you'll see things. So the most important feature I would say is definitely pictures. This is what's going to catch the eye of somebody that's just scrolling through the pages. Since the Etsy market is so flooded, you want to captivate the viewer right away. So you want your pictures to be bright, you want your items to be in focus, and you want to take several different shots of the same item. You can put some decor on it in one shot and then take it all off for a close-up, take a picture of the bottom of the piece. A new key way you can do this on Etsy is they offer videos. We actually haven't taken advantage of this yet, but it helps the customer be able to see kind of the process of the item being built and that it's not just made in a factory, it's made in somebody's shop, in somebody's home. Also,
you're really trying to get on that front page, so you need a picture that's really going to suck that person in, because even if they do click on your page and your stuff doesn't look interesting, Etsy's going to feed a bunch of similar items on the bottom, and they might just click one of the items and go check out their store. And then again, if they have a bunch of stuff filled out, like their bio, that might suck that customer in, and they might
move on from your store and just forget about your item and continue on and buy from somebody else.
So really think about selling that customer in 10 seconds or less.
I would say the next most important thing to the picture is the item's title. So you want it to be something that's relevant and something that's searchable. So for instance, ottoman tray. 2 years ago when we got started, farmhouse was all the rage. So we made sure to put farmhouse tray, farmhouse caddy in our tags, in our title, just so that when people type in something, a couple different options are going to come up, and you want to make sure you're hitting some of those options so your item gets viewed. And like Jeff said, the more times it gets viewed, the more you get boosted up to the front page, and you're more likely to get sales that way.
An example of this is we recently started selling stove covers, or what apparently other people call them are noodle boards. I had no idea what a noodle board was, but just putting noodle board in the title jumped that item's ranking like crazy, and I never even knew that word existed. So again, look at your competition, see how they're wording stuff, and just go from there.
Make sure to check out those keyword websites or search engines so that you know what's trending right now, because that's going to be most important in your title and your tags. Just do your research. If you find pins on Pinterest that are really popular, you can look at those. A lot of them are actually links to Etsy, so you can just click through and see what's ranking first. When you think of noodle board or stovetop cover, type that in and see what comes up automatically and use those keywords in your titles.
That's a good point. Just go to the search on top of Etsy, type in
your idea, your starting idea.
Just the first word of it, and it'll drop down and give you a bunch of other terms that people are searching for.
That'll give you a good starting point. So another really big tip that we give to beginners especially is to make sure to diversify and have a few different items on your page, not just 1 or 2. Because when people come to your page, they're going to want to look and see what else you can do, what you can offer, and even if you haven't made that much yet, build some pieces for your house and then take pictures of them and list them for sale. It just gives people a broader idea of your capabilities.
But it also doesn't have to be a completely different item. So for us, we sell a lot of serving trays, ottoman trays, but we also offer them in a bunch of different wood types. So it doesn't have to be like a shelf and then an ottoman tray. I mean, it can be, but it can be different renditions of that item.
I would say that's a good way though to get reviews, is to have a few different items in the beginning. Especially, we had so many SKUs. Like, we sold things from dog trays to shelves to wall units. It was just a bunch of random stuff we saw that we liked. We're like, oh, we can build that, and so we listed it. And it got to a point where it was just so complicated. There were so many things on the order list, and we needed so many different box sizes. It was just kind of a hassle to keep up with. So we slowly started taking things off and consolidating into items that could fit in the same boxes. And then the last step was taking off the dog bowls, which was mostly hard because people kept asking for them after we took them down. And it's, like we said in the last video, it's just learning to say no and to continue to grow with your business for what works.
But I also don't regret going so broad right away, because having all them different items brought us a bunch of different eyeballs, and honestly at the time we had no idea what we even wanted to make.
Yeah.
So having all that separate stuff on there was good, and especially even if it's like we sold these $30 mail holders, but those $30 mail holders were getting 5-star reviews, just making our shop look that much better. So starting out when you have zero sales and 0 reviews, most likely someone's going to buy from someone like us that has 4,000 plus sales and 400 plus reviews. We're just more a trustworthy shop. So right away you kind of just got to take what you can get until you kind of get established and have more reviews and sales. So the second tip is complacency. A lot of people think that you can kind of just put 1 or 2 items on there and you're just going to magically start getting its sales. Think of it as like the Instagram scenario again. If you just put 2 posts on Instagram, no one's going to follow you because you're not posting any type of content. So Etsy is essentially the same way. You need to constantly come out with new products. Again, whether it's different wood types or different colors, you just got to keep grinding it out until stuff starts selling, because some stuff never sells. We'll put stuff on Etsy that'll sit there for 6+ months, and if it doesn't sell, we'll just take it off. But that is completely normal. You're going to put stuff on there that's not going to sell. Especially when you're a new shop, you don't have any reviews, you might just need a little more credibility for people to want to buy that stuff from you.
So make sure to check out the trends and see what's popular on Pinterest or on Instagram. Just see what other people that you enjoy their content, what they're doing, what they're making, and do something similar. Don't copy, but take the idea and make your own twist on it. And don't be afraid to take that design and then make a couple different variations of it and list all of them. See what does well, and what doesn't perform well, you can just eventually get rid of it. Or if you really love it, you can leave it up, but this way you're still making sales on the other items in your shop. People can still see the one-off thing that's really unique maybe, but that's not going to be bringing the traffic and the eyeballs to your shop.
When you initially put them few items on there and after a few weeks nothing sells, make some changes to it. Don't just let it sit there and just think something's going to magically happen. When we first started selling pet feeders, it was a super flooded market, but very quickly we rose to the top because we offered like these custom dog name plaques. Even if that other shop has a little bit better item than you, if you have that custom name plaque and that customer wants that custom name plaque, they're going to buy from you. Same thing with our ottoman trays. You can customize pretty much any item in our shop. We do have a CNC, but right away she used a Cricut to make all the little name plaques. I mean, a CNC is the way to go, but right away that Cricut and just hand painting them little name tags worked great. If it's not selling, try adding some more features, add some different sizes, some different wood types. Just, you got to keep adding stuff until something sticks. Eventually you're going to get an item that's going to take off, and once you get that one item that takes off, you're going to get a ton of eyeballs on your shop, and then them other items will start selling as well. It could be as simple as just changing the picture. We've had stagnant posts and Jess just took new pictures and replaced that cover photo, and just like that, the post took off. And all she really did was change a classic gray tray to like a picture of a whitewash tray. And at the time, whitewash was super hot, so that post shot right up to the top front pages. And being on them front pages is everything. If you're not on them first 2-3 pages, you might as well not even exist.
Overall idea is to just offer options, choices for your customers so that they can take your item or what you do best and tweak it to fit their needs.
And kind of going on that point, the way Etsy works with like the page, so if you're on that front page, golden. But if you're not making sales and other people are, you're slowly falling down to the lower pages, and then eventually you're on page 4 or 5. So you got to constantly get sales to stay on them top pages.
So don't be complacent. If your shop hasn't been making any sales and you've been on Etsy now for about 3 months, change up your pictures, take some more dynamic shots of whatever you're selling, edit up, tweak up your shop so it's bright and intriguing and invites the customer to like keep looking and searching for more about you or your product, and just go from there.
And with your listings, we see some people we'll just say ottoman trays because that's what we do. They'll make a listing for every single color in their ottoman tray, and we completely disagree with that. Sure, you had more listings out there, but having a bunch of listings doesn't really mean anything. You need them listings to be on top. So you want to condense them all into one listing and have a drop down with all your colors and fill in all 10 of them picture slots. So then that one listing is getting all the sales, pushing that one listing to the top of that page and hopefully getting you on the first page.
Yeah, that single listing will continue to get renewed. Where if we had an English chestnut listing, a classic gray listing, and a worn navy listing, the worn navy listing would be pushed way down, so nobody would ever see that variable because it's only ordered every once in a while. But now that people see our listing because it's at the top and there's a more dynamic and trendy picture on it, they get to see all of the options that we have.
So don't dilute your products. So we have a pine tray that has a drop down with all the different colors in it, and then we have a separate listing for a walnut tray because that's a completely different look. And then we'll have the different size drop downs in that tray. So don't dilute your listings, condense them as much as you can. Don't be afraid to make other listings if you just want to get that different color photo, but don't go crazy with it.
Don't rely on that, because that's the theory, is that, well, say somebody wants a gray tray, they're not going to click on our brown tray to see if we have it. But Etsy actually shows you, when you're looking at items, it shows you if it's free shipping, it'll say more colors available if there's other drop-down options available. So the customer has a chance to see that, and if they're interested enough in your product and the quality of your product based on what you've shown in your picture, they'll click through it at least.
Also, she mentioned free shipping. You have to offer free shipping. Unfortunately, Etsy really corners you into doing this. If you don't offer free shipping, they're not going to push your items as much as your competitors that do offer free shipping. So on the final tip is traffic, not getting enough traffic. I'm once again going to use the Instagram kind of scenario as well. So if people are spending a bunch of time on your Instagram account, looking at all your posts, scrolling through all your photos, Instagram's going to take those posts and show them to more people. More eyeballs, more time on screen, the more you're going to get showed. Etsy is the same way. You got to have traffic. If you're only getting 100 views a month on your Etsy, the odds of you selling something are extremely slim. It's a game of numbers. We might get 20,000 views a month on Etsy, but only get 100 orders. So just kind of think of them numbers there in the grand scheme of things. If you're only getting 100 views, it's going to take you a while to get even one sale.
So the first way I would suggest doing this is by sharing your listings. So Etsy offers a few different ways that you can connect with your social media accounts. You can connect your Pinterest and your Instagram and share directly to them. I like to share pretty much all of our listings onto Pinterest. So I take the pictures that I like the most, and I'll just create a simple Pinterest post about it. Usually I don't even change any of the words, but you can just say cute dog tray or ottoman tray, and then share it onto a Pinterest board and just let it go. Let it hang out there, and hopefully it'll get shared. The nice thing about this is that it's evergreen, so that post is always going to be there. But it's contradictory because we also still have people contacting us about our dog bowls or old clock styles because they're still on Pinterest. And they'll be like, oh, I saw this, I can't find it. Why not?
But that's still extra traffic coming to our shop. And then there's also the other social medias. You should have a social media on every one. Even if you only post once a week, just posting your items on there for other people to see is a huge help. Another tip would be to have like an easy to spell unique shop name. Like ours is TWOMOOSE Design. That's real easy to remember, real easy to spell, basic spelling. So if we were to do TWOMOOSE Design and kind of spell it all weird, we wouldn't really come up in the search. Like Bob's Cutting Boards, there might be, sorry if there's a Bob's Cutting Board, but there might be 40 different Bob's Cutting Boards out there. You want to kind of corner that store name so that you're the only one, or a few others come up when someone searches that.
I think the best way to do this is to check Google and social media platforms. TWOMOOSE Design, we couldn't find any other companies that had that name. There was one, TWOMOOSE Designs, plural, so that's the only reason we didn't do that. And so now when you type us in on Google, you get our Etsy shop, our personal website, you get our Instagram, you see everything.
So even if you just Google TWOMOOSE Design, we own that entire front page. Like our Etsy stuff comes up, our Instagram comes up, and then our website comes up.
I mean, that's a whole other tangent we could go off on.
So you've done all that, none of that's working for you, you've been sharing to social media, and you're still not getting eyeballs on your products. The last and final thing you can do is buy ads. No one really wants to buy ads. We actually didn't pay for any ads the first year we sold. This was also like 3 or so years ago. But we had a ton of momentum at that time, but eventually that momentum kind of peaked, and we still wanted to get more sales, so we started experimenting with ads. So if the other stuff isn't working, you're gonna have to pay for ads. Even if it's $1 or $2 a day, you're just getting them extra eyeballs that Etsy's pushing to your store because you're paying for them.
At least try it out for a month, and then Etsy has good analytics. You can go in and look, see how much you spent, and see how much you made. and just compare the two, see if it's worth it. If it's valuable to you to spend $100 a month and make $1,000, then go ahead and pay for those ads. If it's not worth it to you and you'd rather take that $100 and spend it somewhere else, whether it's Facebook ads or local ads, however you want, just make sure you're putting yourself out there and getting seen.
But Etsy ads, they essentially do it for you. You just say, I want to spend $5 a day, and then they kind of just distribute that $5 in the most effective way possible.
The benefit of Etsy is that they do all the SEO for you. They know what's trending, they know what's popular, so they pay people to do web analytics and push this stuff out all day long. As long as you're selling something that's within that realm and is semi-popular or something that people are going to search for, you're going to get found.
We do most of our sales on Etsy. We do have a website that we do get sales through, but we honestly don't advertise on our website just because Etsy is a powerhouse, they're a monster, and running ads on our website, I kind of just feel like I'm competing against Etsy, selling the same exact item, which I'm paying to advertise as well. So starting out, I would probably spend money on Etsy ads over your personal website ads.
There's an argument for both, but for us, we feel like because Etsy is its own entity, they have the funds and the knowledge and the people that are able to do all that work for you. So as a beginning company, you don't have to know any of that. It's just plug and play. You just put in your information and see if your item can sell.
Starting out, especially if you don't have any sales, paying for ads is extremely intimidating because you feel like you're just throwing money away and you didn't even get any sales yet. But it's definitely worth the investment, especially if you need the eyeballs and nothing else is working. Pay for the ads. And that'll conclude the video. Thanks for stopping by, guys. We appreciate every one of you taking the time to watch these videos. If you have any other video ideas or more in-depth ideas, or want us to go more in-depth on anything, let us know in the comments. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you name it. We're pretty much on it.